Hi everyone! In preparation for the Dewey's 24-hour readathon, which is happening on Saturday, October 22nd, I thought I'd do a quick recommendations video of some short books that you can add to your TBR. Now, I may not be able to participate this time because the plan is to tile my basement that day, but even if I can't, you definitely should. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite readathons of the year. And personally, I always like to pick out really short books because with only 24 hours to read, and if I'm honest, I never read for the full amount. I'm lucky if I read for maybe 6 hours. I really like to choose short books because I feel productive and I can get through a couple of them in a day. Now, I'm purposely not putting any middle grade books or graphic novels on this list, just because I feel like most books in those categories already count as short books, but I definitely recommend them. Those are two places I always look when I'm making my TBR. But let's jump in. Now, the first and longest book I'm going to recommend is The Reader by Bernhard Schulk. I'm always unsure how to say that, but this is translated from German. It is a historical fiction story about a 15-year-old boy who gets involved with an older woman. It's set after World War II, and the story is kind of told over two parts of their relationship, of how they get together, and then later on he sees this woman again when she is put on trial, when they're going through and basically taking people to trial for their crimes during the war. And it's a really interesting story. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's great. Just an overall really good story. Comes in just over 200 pages, and I flew through it in an afternoon. The book itself is just an absorbing, powerful story that really, left me with a lot of feelings, and I think would be perfect for the readathon. Now, if you want to go the YA route during the readathon, my personal recommendation is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, which is about a young girl who is, I believe, going into high school, and something happened over the summer that she doesn't feel comfortable talking about, and she's lost all her friends, and this is just about the year that follows. It's a book that meant so much to me growing up myself, really about finding your voice in a particularly hard time, and the book is super quick to read. It's, lots of white space, big font. It comes in just under 200 pages. And an adult reader could easily fly through this in an hour or two. It's so absorbing again, and just overall just really short. So highly recommend this one. If you haven't read it, this is the perfect time to pick it up. It's just as good as everyone says it is. Another book I want to recommend is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. If you are looking for an audiobook, this is an excellent way to squeeze in an audiobook during the day, but the book itself is great too. This is a story about a man reflecting on his own childhood growing up, and the story is about another young girl that he knew and a bit about their adventures. It kind of ties into a fairy tale-like story with some magical realism. Again, it's one story you don't want to say too much about, and it's just absorbing. Neil Gaiman is a fabulous writer, and it's a perfect short book for a readathon. Cuddle up with a nice warm blanket and a cup of tea, and it's just would be a fantastic read for Saturday. Now, if you want to go with a different fantasy story with faster pacing, I've got to recommend The Wizard Killer by Adam Dries. It's a book I read most recently of this list, but it just had to make it on here. It comes in around 140 pages. It's essentially a serialized story where each chapter was written over the course of a week and published online originally as an episode, and then it was combined together into this serial. The story starts with the main character waking up to find a knife plunged into his stomach, and the story takes off from there. It's so fast-paced, so fun, and just an awesome choice if you feel like something that's, a lot more fast-paced and just something that will keep you going. This is a great high energy book for the readathon. Next, if you're in more of a mystery thriller mood, a lot of those can be quite long, but I'd recommend going with Gillian Flynn's novella, The Grown-Up. This is about a psychic who gets called into a home that may or may not be haunted by a ghost, and it's just her experience going there and seeing what's going on. It's a great mix between mystery, suspense with some paranormal elements, and it was absolutely gripping. It comes in around like 65 pages, so you can easily read in one sitting and you'll feel super productive. It's Gillian Flynn. I think her writing is completely solid. If you're fans of any of her other books, this is definitely worth picking up. Finally, my last book to recommend is also the shortest, and this is a nonfiction book called What Successful People Do Before Breakfast by Laura Vanderkam. And this is a super short book that she wrote. I think it's called A Missive when it's this short. Basically about her interviewing really successful people and studying how they started their days. All these people start their days really early and pack in time with their kids or workouts or job-related activities super early in the morning. So if you're someone looking or considering kind of starting your day with, being really productive before breakfast, this is a great little book to pick up. Either way, at 40 pages, you're guaranteed to finish it during the readathon and have another book checked off your list. So those are some of the short books I would recommend. If you have your own recommendations, feel free to leave them down below, or comments about any of the books that I mentioned. Also, I do exist on Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram, and would love to be your friend on those social media sites. So feel free to follow the links down below. I always post what I'm reading, what's going on, and it's just a fun way to chat more outside the videos. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you again soon. Okay, bye.